Well, hey folks, D-Ray Cruz here. I'm going to let this play while I talk. Um, uh, Now, the lady here, well, first of all, let me say this. Donald Trump, the man has made it to be president, and I really believe with all my heart that whoever is behind, whoever makes the decision to continue to allow someone another chance to approach the White House, the person, these people are never shown. These people are never ever brought into light. They don't want to be seen. You can mention some names, but they're not seen. And so if they're not seen, but you know their names, they're probably involved. They're the ones that stay out of it. They're the ones that kind of like are sitting in the middle. They don't let you know whether they're Republican or Democrat. They just they're always biased between the two. But they are the whistleblowers. They are the lobbyists. They are the people that are running things behind the scenes. Okay? And they give each candidate, especially if you make it to be in office, before you get to office, they open up the doorways for you to receive votes. They open up the doorways for you to be able to get up there and say certain things without hands-on scrutiny. Anybody can say what they want to say, but only these people can say, okay, you're not allowed back up there because you said this. So Kamala could say things, and people can say things against Trump. Biden could say things, and people could say all kinds of crazy things against Trump. But Trump also, right back at you, Trump also can get up there and say whatever he wants to say, and he has the same right to go into our economy, just like Kamala and Biden did and Obama did. He has that same right to go into our economy and touch our money, touch our comfort zones, okay, touch our racial relations and et cetera, and et cetera, et cetera. Touch our faith, touch what we hold dear, touch what we believe in. Touch our various beliefs. Okay? Because one belief says that, transgenderism and abortion shouldn't even be American. It shouldn't even be allowed in this country. And another one says, a woman's right is her body, even though only women can have children. So if the majority of women are lesbians, and if the majority of women become prostitutes or they become wives who cheat on their husbands like clockwork, okay, that's less women having babies. That's more women practicing abortion. Okay? So, let's say I'm not a Christian, I'm just on the outside looking in. That will take me to the other one where I believe it should be banned from the country. Because with women falling apart today, with relationships in the hellfire that they're into, men against women, women against men, okay, you got more men, marrying trans women today. And you got more women, okay, that are getting knocked up by trans women. And you got more women sleeping with the gardener and sleeping with the man that washes their windows or sleeping with somebody else's husband or whatever. And nobody's having babies. And we got the nerve to put it on blast that, they're not having babies because we're killing them. Which, that's the truth. I'm not saying that on a Christian level. I'm saying that on a scientific level. if you terminate your if you terminate your pregnancy and you don't use birth control and you don't use the next morning pill, whatever that thing's called, okay, you are practicing abortion. And I don't care if it's a embryo, okay, or if it's a 2-month baby. I don't care. You have killed your baby. And people, and see, this is the difference between people that are rational and people that are just bound by their sin, because the minute I talk like this, click. The minute I talk like this, cuss words come out of your mouth. You don't want to hear it. You go to acting like a child. You don't want to hear it because you don't want to take the responsibility. Okay? But before I go to this nonsense right here about Trump, let me go here. Let me show you what's going on. It relates to this in the media, how the media lies. Okay, I just watched a video about Dr. Tony Evans. Now, Dr. Tony Evans stepped down from ministry. But there's not a single man out there. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are out there and you're on YouTube, or they're putting on YouTube, you may not even know you're being put on YouTube. They're putting you on YouTube, or they're putting you on Twitter, or they're putting you on something because you allow yourself to be videotaped, or you allow people to have their camera phones out, at your services or whatever. People can take whatever footage they can collect from you, or collect from people that are putting your business out there on social media, and they can say whatever they want to say about you. They done it to Tony Evans. They done it to Trump. They've done it to Bill Cosby. They've done it to rappers. They've done it to Christian musicians. They've done it to Christian women. They've done it to the top Christian men. They've done it to presidents. They've done it to police. They've done it to senates and mayors, and they've done it to racial groups. They've done it to everybody. Everybody receives scrutiny on social media, even if they don't need it. Okay, so Dr. Tony Evans, his situation is dead and gone. Okay, yes, he married too soon after his wife died. He married another woman that was a little bit younger, and a little bit prettier, and in my opinion, she wasn't sexier. I think the first wife was built better, but she dead, so sexy is over. But I think both of the women were well put together. But the thing is, his wife died of a disease, and he had to work with that for a couple years. I know Tony Evans. Tony Evans, when I going back in time, the Promise Keepers, Tony Evans was like one of the main men. It was Tony Evans, and it was McCarthy, the football coach. I forget what team he was. I don't think it was the Giants. I'm not sure what. McCartney might be dead by now. I don't know, but McCartney was the coach. I forget what his first name is. But everybody, if I say McCartney, you know, go back in time if you're my age. You can think of who that might be. But Coach McCartney, I think he was way out in Los Angeles, or he was somewhere in the warmer states. He was the coach for one of the most top football teams out there. Of course, they didn't beat the Steelers that often, whoever they were, because I'm from Pittsburgh, so I know. Him, Tony Evans, and there's a pastor right here in Pittsburgh. I've been to his church. I've been, and when I did security for Promise Keepers, I was able to shake his hand. I had to be backstage with him. I forget his name. I'm pretty sure he's probably dead and gone too, because he was old. He was one of the oldest preachers that was involved in the Promise Keepers movement. But anyway, this pastor, Tony Evans, and the football coach is the one that started it all. And then people like Tony Evans, he was really big on Promise Keepers. He went from doing Promise Keepers to like Edwin Cole. Edwin Cole was in it too. He was part of the movement, but just like Edwin Cole, he started writing all kinds of books about men and how men can have positive marriages, escape porn, and all that kind of stuff. And like Dr. Tony Evans was like the focus of a lot of our training and teachings in the Promise Keepers movement. Now, I haven't seen Tony Evans in years. I remember not too long ago, I just decided to type him in the search bar because I felt like, I want to hear some good preaching today. And this was just like back in 2015 maybe. I typed him in the search bar on YouTube, and I typed his name in there, and all the stuff came up, going all the way back, past the year 2000, and up to this date. And I just looked at his stuff, and I just clicked on one of them videos, and it sounded like the same old innocent, full of God's Spirit Tony Evans that I've always known. But just recently, he's in the media for, like Bill Cosby, he's in the media because he divorced his wife. Like, it ain't none of your goddamn business. If you ain't saved and you ain't part of his ministry, what business is it of yours? And when the church tells people how many times they can get divorced, okay, let me tell you something. Some of y'all going to stand before God for that. Because even if a man has been married too many times, one of those is the key wife. Okay? Jesus didn't come and change the law of Moses. Jesus came to fulfill the law of Moses so that you don't get that many divorces. But they act like, oh, he's a Christian. And he's had 2 wives. Oh my God, he must be going to hell according to your Bible. No, that's not what my Bible says. My Bible doesn't say you're going to go to hell because you married twice or 3 or 4 or 5 times. Okay? My Bible says that you shouldn't divorce your wife except for fornication, and even if you want to forgive your wife after she's committed fornication, you're allowed to do that too because God did it. Okay? But God also divorced Israel over and over and over and over again. Okay? And said, return to me. How many times did God allow Israel? How many times did God divorce Israel? Okay? And, people like Corey Minor and all like that, the once saved, always saved doctrine, he forgets that. That if God divorced you, it's like a marriage. And you're not allowed to go back to that person that divorced you. But God is the only one that can say, return to me, and I will renew your first works and your first love. Okay? So, these people that ain't part of the Christendom, ain't part of the family of God, the people of God, okay, running their mouths, okay, bite me, okay? I really don't care, okay? But this video that I just watched on Tony Evans, they show a picture. This goes to show you how the media uses AI and uses things to smear people. And there's a lot of people on YouTube who claim to talk about religious people or Christian people or whatever. It doesn't matter who you are. Okay? They'll take, you being a porn star and insinuate that you slept with your mama or your daddy or your little brother, and they have no proof of that. They'll take a picture of you and your little brothers, you and your little brother giving each other a hug and a kiss and say, we have reason to believe, so to speak, people are concerned about, Annie and Fred. They did this to Tony Evans, and they've done it in 3 videos. They've done it to Bill Cosby, and they've done it in a dozen videos. You got somebody out there, and somebody on YouTube was showing us how he makes money for doing this. You write down what you want to say, and AI will do the rest. You could write a paragraph and you say, I want to make this 6 paragraphs, and I want each paragraph to say one thing, but so that it doesn't look like I'm lying, do not say certain words or don't say certain sentences. You can command AI if you have the software, or if you have a free pass on certain software. You can make AI say things that, So they did this thing on Tony Evans. And, the beginning of the video where they show you the startup picture. They show a picture before you click on it of Dr. Tony Evans bowing his head like he's depressed about something to 2 men. One of them looks like Tony Evans, but you can't really see whether or not that's really Tony Evans, and you're thinking, well, maybe Tony Evans' son. The rumors that they're saying that Tony Evans confirmed before he stepped down was that his son was in a gay relationship. That's what I was waiting to hear, and I'm thinking, well, I'm definitely not going to hear that Tony Evans was in a gay relationship. Okay? But you look at the photo of the video, and they want you to think that either Dr. Tony Evans or somebody related to him was in a gay affair. The video had absolutely nothing to do with that. The picture that was on the photo picture for the video was clickbait. They've done the same thing to Bill Cosby. They've done the same thing talking about the Cosby Show. They put one of the girls on the Cosby Show. Was it Rudy? Rudy was the youngest one. The one up from her. They say, oh, where are the Cosby people now? So they took the AI and they made a picture of one of the Cosby girls wearing sexy lingerie. Of course, we're going to click on it, because you mean to tell me one of the Cosby girls, when she got done doing the Cosby Show, she was doing porn or something? So you click on it and you find out that one of these things that they train these AIs to do is they train them to keep saying the same thing over and over again in a different fashion. And I'm thinking, no, I want to get to what happened to the one Cosby girl that you got on the front of this goddamn picture wearing sexy lingerie. I want to know what's going on with that. You're accusing this girl according to the photo, that she went and did something sexual or got involved in some kind of industry. According to the photo you put there, she got involved in something sexual or sensual or whatever. And now you don't want to talk about it. You never mentioned it. Oh, out of everybody in the video, she had the best. And some of these women even went out there to work for God. They went out there and did things for God. But you got people who will get on there and they'll do this AI stuff and let AI make content for them, and then they'll use AI to make some kind of goofy photo. You can listen to it and tell it's AI. It's not a real human voice. They take some guy's voice that's in the AI system and they make his voice say all these things. You can tell by the intervals of the way he's saying things. There's never a single stutter or anything that's AI. But this is 95% out of 100 of what we watch on YouTube right now. A lot of this Trump hate is AI. Okay? Now, what's bothering me about these two here, moving on to it. What's bothering me about these two is, I forget this woman's name. It's in the description. It's in the description here. What is her name? Elizabeth Warren. Brian interviews Elizabeth Warren. Now, this Brian guy, I watched this video, like over half of it, and then I just couldn't take it no more. This guy, Brian, he just seems so gay. Standing. This Elizabeth Warren woman, I think he is somewhat legit. Except for the fact that she didn't vote for Trump. She's not a Trumpster. She's trying to not be. But a lot of people like to listen to her complain about Trump because she doesn't speak lies like some people do. She speaks fear. So he's trying to sit here and say, well, what you think about, Trump, this and Trump, that? Doesn't that mean this? And doesn't that mean that? And she's like correcting him and saying, oh, well, here's the thing. This is the way it's done because we do have a textbook on it. We do have laws about this. And he's thinking, oh, my gay behind didn't know. They got laws on this? You mean Trump and Elon are following some laws? Yes. She's being honest with him, like, yes. But then she says, but they can take what somebody else started and use that against us and what we stand for, which there's some truth to that, because as everybody can see, Trump decided to go into office and he didn't even give us a warning about some of this stuff. The tariffs and that wasn't discussed before, before he won. That wasn't discussed in his formal rallies, okay? Some of the stuff he didn't do until he made sure he waited till he is in office before he, did some of these these executive orders and then some of the stuff, because he knew that he would never get in office if he had told them all his secrets about what he's going to do. Now you got these people in an uproar because now you know what it's like on the other side to be like us and wonder why we have all these immigrants here that ain't legal and are raping our daughters and killing our sons and setting homeless people on fire and doing crazy things, including human trafficking, gangs, and drugs. And Biden and Kamala knew where their location. They knew where they were at. They knew this was going on, and they knew their next move, and they didn't bother to stand up for their own people. It's like war on white people, because white people suffer from this than black people do. Like these like black women don't get human. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be Dave Chappelle or Bernie Mac, but black women don't get kidnapped and human traffic. I don't know if they ain't, unless they're really young, they're like the side, like a real cute little, like, child-sized child. They might do that to like a woman, a child that's like 9 years old and under. But black women usually don't get kidnapped and human trafficked. Okay? They skip over black women and they go after white women and Asian women. Okay? And more white women than anything else. I mean, these Mexicans have a fetish for white women. Like, I mean, you go and look. Okay? They might come and, up against black folks and take their spots in a lot of things. But what they don't do is, they don't really care about, raping our black women as much as they care about raping white women. And they don't care about, human trafficking on black women. Okay, they do this to their own women. Number one, they do this to white women, and there's other women, and then there may be some Asian women, because Asian women a lot of times look like Spanish women. So but my point is, the problem that we're having is like war on white people. Because white people are the ones suffering the most with this. I mean, black folks are mad because Spanish people are coming over here taking their jobs and, that kind of thing. But they're not going down to the black projects, okay, and running black folks out of the projects. No, they're going down to the white condominiums, the, you know, mixed apartment areas, and somehow they know where all the white people live, and they always go after the white people, okay? And it's a fact. Do your research, you'll see. Black people don't usually have problems with other people doing crime on them. Even terrorists. I don't know what it is about black folks. Even terrorists. You know, terrorists from the Middle East, when they do crime here in America, black folks have to be mixed in with the white folks. They're not going to go down to the ghetto and start some crap with black folks. They just don't do that. They go after white folks. White folks are the victims when we allow immigrants to come and disrespect our country. White people are going to be the victims more than anybody else. This is why when black men become conservatives, or black women as well, okay, become conservatives, they always feel like they have to protect white people because white people are going to suffer more than anybody else. Because white people have the money, white people have the good, better sides of the neighborhood, and the better homes and cars, all the way down to the dog. The dog acts better than a black man's dog. Okay, the dogs are more well behaved than the black man's dog. So, you know, white people got it going on. And what's dumb about attacking white people is that white people had to use education, and they had to save money and do the hard work to be in a position that they're at. Just being white don't mean that God reached down from heaven and laid his hands on white people and they started dancing in the spirit and became rich, or they started dancing in the spirit and had the prettiest wife in America, or they started dancing in the spirit. No, they went to college, they took classes, they you know, watched people that already have money do it. I mean, if I've ever hung out with, you know, a couple white dudes that were in their 20s versus a couple black dudes that were in their 20s, I could do a whole hour video to show you what the difference of that experience. But I'm not going to do that here. But what I'm saying is that these two arguing here, they're not arguing, they're talking. This dude here, this knucklehead, is trying to turn everything into, oh, well, Trump's going to do this, and Trump's going to do that, and Trump's going to do this, and he's going to do that. And he's got no proof of that, and he's trying to say, well, Trump did this. Didn't he do this? And she's like saying, well, no, he couldn't have did it yet, or we know about it. Like, he couldn't have done it, but, let me tell you how that works. In other words, and she keeps telling him, oh, you said a really, really good thing there. Let me explain. But neither one of these clowns are explaining what Trump did. She's worried that, oh yeah, he might do that. And he's trying to act like he's definitely going to do it. And he already did it. And it's just the way people talk that makes me want to just get out a fire hose and spray everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut up. You don't know what the heck you're talking about. And even those like her that know what you're talking about, stop speaking fear to me and speak to me what the laws are. Did he do it? Oh, he didn't do it yet. How do you know he's going to do it if he didn't do it yet? What makes you so sure he's going to do it, ma'am? You don't know. Okay? This is the other thing, though. You know, the Trump man in office, okay, you know, people don't understand, and this is the problem with, you know, where Bush left us and other Republican presidents, because Trump is doing what, you know, when Trump first got into politics, he wasn't sure whether he wanted to be Democratic or Republican. But then some of the Democrats pissed him off. Y'all don't understand that. And they did him dirty. And so this story of him and the Clintons and him and Obama is about people owing Donald Trump an apology, getting back what they stole from him, and they borrowed from him and didn't pay back. You name it, those kind of issues led him not only to join the Republican Party to get his payback, but to join the Republican Party because he understands how ratchet it can be in the Democratic Party when you don't have anybody in there blowing the whistle. But now that Trump's in there, you want him to blow the whistle so bad. Well, wait a minute. Trump had to sit there and watch you abuse our country, rob our country, rape our country for the last 4 years. Okay? He's had to watch you do this. And Biden was signing executive orders like his grandkids were saying, "Hey, Grandpa, can you just write a executive order so that I can have sex at 9 years old?" And Biden will just get up there. I'm using that as a figure of speech because some of them were just preposterous. Okay? But Biden was just like, he was doing executive orders and letting people tell him what to do, like his grandkids were telling him what to do. Like, who comes up with these ideas? Okay? And he was just doing what people told him to do. He wasn't really looking at what's going on in the headlines. He was just looking at certain things because they had an agenda, and that's what they put him up there for. And everybody in office, from Obama to Biden, especially, and it really started with Obama. Black people, somebody told me just a few weeks ago that Obama was the best man that ever been in the White House. Really, dude? Okay. No, he wasn't. Obama said a lot of educational things. I mean, if you want to say who can get up there and talk and don't stutter, I think Obama's that mad. If you want to tell me who can get up there and talk, okay, very like a motivational speaker, like one of the best motivational speakers you ever heard, yeah, that would be Obama. But while he was talking, half that stuff didn't get done. It was just to appease you, okay, to forget about it and worry about other things. Okay, but the gay marriage thing, he made sure that happened. He wasn't letting nothing get in his way. He made executive orders about that and everything else. Okay, and that's where it started. Ever since, and a lot of this is spiritual, because once you want to make God allow bad happen to you, do certain things. You want to see God allow bad happen to your country. You want to see more people go through things. You want to see more people get robbed and shot at and put in the hospital, and disease and pandemics and earthquakes and hurricanes and all like that. You just let somebody come in there and convince all these people that even though they're doing something wrong, they're doing something right. No, it can't be both. It's either wrong or it's right. And Obama loved to get up there, and he was very verbal and very supportive of taking something that was wrong and talking about it like, well, we're in a situation where we have to call it right at this point. And that's not the truth. And it started with him. If they felt that he was just going to get up there as a typical black man and run the country like most white men would run it, he would have never made it in office. But they knew that if he did a certain agenda, okay, and held on to that agenda like it was his, but it's not really his, it's somebody else's. All these people are puppets, except Trump, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe Obama, put a lot of himself into the White House, and some things he did were good, but the majority of stuff that he did he was a puppet. As far as the welfare of our country, as far as terrorism, as far as, the economy at that time and that, he was a puppet. Okay? Biden, puppet. Kamala, she's a puppet, but she's trying to find a way to get all feminist with the White House and show that women are empowered and all like this. But yet, Kamala, we don't need to worry about your Maybelline and your maxi pads right now, Kamala. Our country's going through hell right now. Where does your maxi pads and your Maybelline fix this? We need you to quit worrying about being a woman of power for a second, for one goddamn second, and fix what Biden screwed up. And she tried to act like she wasn't siding with Biden. She said it out of her own goddamn mouth. Okay? She said she wasn't siding with Biden, but when it came to the Biden issues, well, we want to work out a plan, and until I get in office, it's too soon to say, and, she's making all these excuses. And in a way, I'm glad she did. Because if she had got up there and said, well, as of today, we are deporting so many immigrants across the border, and the men that raped that little girl and all like that, we have them in custody. The girl that was missing for several months, she's been found. Okay, if she was getting up there putting our economy back together instead of doing all these, she did more running her mouth on the internet than Trump had rallies. Every day she was on there, more than, not just once, not just twice, just talking, but ain't nothing getting done. And so she kept on talking and kept on talking. And I believe that's where the whistleblower comes in. He's like, okay, I guess we should give Trump a chance. Because she's not going to do nothing before, these 4 years are up. And we're not asking her to do anything but be the vice president in the first place. We really don't want her as president if she don't know how to be vice president. How are you going to be president when you don't know how to be vice president? You are in a position right now to do better than Biden. Biden is calling off sick from work, and you can't cover for him. Okay? So here you go. Okay? But you see the picture down there. I don't know if you've seen the picture down there where I clicked on this Tony Evans video. Now this is all made up. All they do is talk in circles on here. Oh, it's real professional. But they talk in circles on here. Okay, this is all made up. They talk in circles on here. And the picture, this picture right here, you see this picture down here? You see the two guys kissing right there? That never shows up. It's never in here. The picture of one of the, Cosby girls wearing provocative clothing never showed up. This is a prime example of how the media will take just a few things that you said out of your own mouth or somebody else said out of their own mouth about you and turn that into a 30-40 minute video where they're not doing nothing but going around in circles. They're making a fortune doing this because you're watching this. Millions are watching this. And they're making a fortune on this. And they never came out and said, well, why are these two guys right here kissing? See them two guys right there kissing? That never gets talked about. This picture right here where Tony Evans looked like he crying about something. Where that happen? When did this happen? The media is a lie. Everything from YouTube to some of the media that is covering what's going on in the White House. It's a freaking lie. And I love when Trump says, okay, you're the most worst reporter that I've ever met. You're fake news, right? Fake news. Who do you work? Who's your boss? Who do you work for? I know him. Fake news. You let me tell you something. Tell your boss, fake news. It's true. And don't get me wrong. It's not just, they've done some fake news on Biden and Kamala. There's people that did fake news on him. And there's Republicans, don't get me wrong, there's Republicans out there who exaggerate the issues about something. Like, if there's an issue, show me the footage. Don't just say it, show me the footage. But nobody has lied about what's going on than Congress under Nancy Pelosi's reign, and AOC, Kamala and Biden, and those that support them, those in the White House, that cute behind, oh man, she's a cutie pie, that Pierce girl that was Biden's secretary, press secretary, oh my goodness, she's a cutie pie, but my goodness, she was just, Biden could get up there and do a press conference better than her. And every time somebody would press her, she would be like, oh, well, that's all for today, folks. One more question. Okay, we're going to stop there. But I didn't get to ask my question. Yeah, but we're going to stop there. She was just a joke. Very pretty lady, but a joke. Okay, and I'm pretty sure she got all the skills. She got skills that would blow my mind. But I'm telling you, she got skills, degrees, PhDs maybe, that would blow my mind. Her career. And other things she's done before she made it to the White House. But I guarantee you, it was all a waste. And one of these days, she's going to wake up and she's going to realize she spent at least 4 years, if not more, probably much more, being wasted by the Democratic Party, being wasted by people who just want to buy her to use for their wickedness. Okay? But in closing, Trump is in office now. He's got just as much right to do all these different things to put things back to where they were. Okay? He has just as much right to put all these things back to where they were, or where they're supposed to be, as they had a right to make you suffer by unraveling them and blowing them up out of control. Okay? He has just as much right to say what he wants to say and say that's enough for today, and I'm not going to talk about that, and leave you in the dark just like Biden and Harris left us in the dark. Okay? He has just as much right. And the media lies. When I was listening to Kenneth Copeland. I wasn't listening to Kenneth Copeland. I was listening to somebody talk about Kenneth Copeland. And it was another AI guy talking about Kenneth Copeland. You can tell these AIs. Okay, a lot of it's AI. That's half of YouTube today. AI. So there's this AI guy talking about Kenneth Copeland. We understand that Kenneth Copeland is a prosperity preacher and all like that. But you can tell whoever wrote the script don't really care about Kenneth Copeland being supposedly some kind of false prophet or anything. They only care about their own personal jealousy of all the money that he made. Let me tell you something. Money is secular. There's no such thing as Christian money. However, read your goddamn Bible. Money is the second god of this world. So much that Abraham and Isaac had to go down to Egypt and lie and say that their wives weren't their wives, they were their sisters, to protect their family while they are able to get restitution for the famine. They couldn't go down there and be truthful, because they were to kill you and lock you up and make your wife be part of their harem against her own will. That's how powerful money is. Oh, you want to come down here? You need something, Abraham? Who are these women that are with you, Abraham? Maybe I'll put some more products on a donkey and send you one of my humble servants with you for that little pretty thing right there. Not much different than today. You know, you look at this Joy Taylor and all these different women that are like, you know, women wanting to be feminists and women wanting to be, you know, rich and make more money than men. That don't come without laying on your back. How many women out there other than Candace Owens? How many women out there are wealthy and never had to lay on their back like a porn star for somebody they're not really interested in sleeping with? Okay? That's another video. But it's all part of the lies. It's all part of fame. It's all part of, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, now Kamala and her husband are supposed to be splitting up. Barack and Michelle are already split up. Okay? There was a bunch of media attention about Jill Biden being mad at Joe Biden. Let me tell you something. A lot of these couples in the White House, especially today compared to yesterday, are not even couples. They're only married. They're marrying into politics and business. I never looked at Obama and Michelle as a legit couple. I'm still stuck on the idea that Obama's probably gay or bisexual now that he's supposed to be sleeping with Jennifer Aniston. Okay? I'll give him bisexual. I'll be respectful and move it to bisexual. I'm still thinking that Obama's always been bisexual and that Michelle might be a tranny. I'm not sure. All I know is the media attention is very confusing. And it's funny how as soon as Trump steps into office, before we could even finish the day of inauguration, they're talking about, oh, you know, Obama is sleeping with Jennifer Aniston, Michelle's best friend. Jill was mad at Biden and talking about, you know, she hasn't been around Biden lately. Biden's missing and she is disappearing from Biden, and they're looking at the chemistry between Biden and his wife at Jimmy Carter's funeral. Okay? Melania got personal beef outside the Trump administration with a number of these women. She got beef with Michelle. She got beef with Hillary Clinton. She got beef where Trump got to stand between them because they said some things and they were involved in that whole FBI thing, you know, coming to her home in Mar-a-Lago and going in her underwear drawer. Okay, yeah. I think I would have to pull my wife apart from them too. Okay? It's crazy. It's crazy. Michelle and Obama, click. It's over. At least that's what they say. They could be lying, like I said. Jill and Biden, click. That's over. Okay? You know. You name it. What was the third one I mentioned? Barack and Michelle, Jill and Biden. There was the third one I mentioned. Oh, Kamala and her husband. Kamala's blaming her husband for problems with the election. Are you kidding me? I never seen him in the White House, not on video anyway. Is he allowed in there? Is he part of the staff? How is he? like I said, they even lie on Democrats. Okay? They might have had an argument that was in public and they was able to hide the footage. So somebody decided to say, oh, well, you know, Kamala and her husband are at each other's throats. They're going to get a divorce. But I just think that I do believe that a lot of times these couples are put together for the sake of, you know, I mean, isn't it amazing how all these wives of the presidents are smoking hot, even in their old age? I mean, at Jimmy Carter's funeral, I'm looking at Gloria Bush. Is it Gloria Bush? The last Bush's wife. I don't know if Gloria Bush was the wife of the dad or Bush Jr., but I was looking at Bush Jr.'s wife. For her age, she's pretty hot. Okay? So, you know, but, you know, the way she was acting at Jimmy Carter's funeral was like they really have a legit marriage. She was looking up at Bill the whole time. Did I say Bill? George Bush. She's looking up at him the whole time. You know what I mean? And Michelle was like somewhere else. Not Michelle. Yeah, Michelle was somewhere else, and she was more concerned about what Trump and Barack was talking about. And Jill Bush was just like looking away from Biden, and she was just somewhere else. There was one part in the Jimmy Carter funeral where they didn't even sit together. She was sitting behind him. It's just really weird. And you can't make this stuff up, but wait a minute, they are making this stuff up. With this AI and with all these stuff, I wouldn't put it past them to tell the truth even about the worst people in the world. Okay? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like O.J. Simpson. Like, they're still making up stuff about O.J. Simpson. Either he did his time or he didn't. Either he's still in prison or he's not. You know, they're making up stuff about Diddy. Like, Diddy's already in prison. Now they're saying that he's in prison getting sentences. Well, wait a minute. You know, I don't know who to believe. I don't know if I can trust YouTube. I don't know if I can trust the local news. I know at my old job, you know, I'd go down in the cafeteria and they'd say something about Trump. And I'm like, Trump never said that. And then I go upstairs and guys want to say, oh, you know your boy Trump. I says, did Trump say that? If Trump didn't say that, how do you know? You don't know. I understand. I just watch it on the news downstairs. I'm just shocked as you are. But Trump never said that out of his own mouth. So where did they get it from? And they say, oh, I'm showing you. So he's going to show me on his camera, right? He's going to show me on his camera phone the video footage that he say, well, Trump said this and said that. I says, where did Trump say that at? He never said that. Listen to him. Is he speaking in Spanish so I don't understand that he said it? He's speaking in English. He never said it. They lied. And they're not just lying with AI, they're lying in broad daylight on Channel 11 News. Here in Pittsburgh, WPXI, they're lying. They're telling bold-faced lies. Really. And so, how does it feel to have a job? Please tell me you're not a Christian. Like, how does it feel to have a job where you got to say what's in front of you? Even if it's a lie. And you know it's a lie. But you still got to say it. How do you live like that? How do you live? I've had people in my own life say, you know, she's going to come in here in a minute, and just so you know, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, one of them blah, blahs, Where do you get that from? I know the girl's my enemy, and none of us like her, but hold on a second. Where did you get blah, blah, blah? Where did she say that at? Well, you know, she said it. She said, you know, she said, well, no, don't tell me what she's thinking. That's what this woman did in the video that I was just showing you. This, I forget what her position is. What was that woman's name? I forget what her name is. This here. Right here. Where is it? Just right here. What is this woman's name? Her name is Elizabeth Warren. She was saying this, or this guy is saying this to her, like, well, that's what he's thinking. No, she said that. Oh yeah, well Trump thinks. How do you know what he's thinking? You can watch this video if you want to. Okay, but I'm just curious. How do you know what somebody's thinking? How do you know that they're trying to totally blow the lid off of something that you started? Which they have a right to do, but how do you know? You don't know that. And when you find out that he's not going to do that, and when you found out that that you was wrong about what you thought he was going to say, what you thought he was going to do, what happened? You didn't apologize. You didn't get back on the media and do this interview over again and say, oh, well, I was wrong about Donald Trump. None of them do that. They're not going to do that. And I've seen Trump get up there and say, we started off as enemies, and we were saying things back and forth, but she seems to be doing pretty good now, so I don't really have a problem with her. She seems to be, she seems like she's been more honest now since, she found out that, since she's been upset about what Biden's doing, blah, 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 blah. I've seen Trump, questioned about his opponents and turn around and tell the truth. He's even said nice things about Obama since, Biden's been in office. But, these Democrats, the nicest of them, this lady right here, outside of the lies, she's a very nice lady. I've seen her talk about other things, but she's not going to tell you the truth. And see, when you click on this, I was wondering, how come I never hear these Democrats say anything? But if you go here, there's a place here, somewhere in here, where if you click on it somewhere in here, there's a whole bunch of different politicians lying about Donald Trump. It's not just her. It's not just him. It's a whole bunch. There's somewhere here I accidentally clicked earlier. And there's all these politicians. Like, this video is part of a series. Now, Trump's only been in office for what? A month. Or less. Okay? Already, we got playlist of recently people talking about Trump about things that they can't prove. That there is no proof. It's too early for you to know exactly what the man is doing, but you judging already. You saying he did. You saying he might. You saying you think what he's thinking. You're saying you know what he's thinking. I'm out. Okay? Trump has just as much right to blow the lid off of everything that you hold dear within the limits of the White House, just like Biden and Harris did when they were in office. And if Donald Trump wants to, and look at the title of this video. This video says, Elon gets the bad news he feared. Okay. Nowhere in this video do they show Elon Musk talking about, I got what I feared. He's worried about something or anything. They're talking behind Elon Musk's back in this interview right here, talking about what him and Trump were thinking and what they're planning to do, that they don't know that they're planning to do that. It was never talked about in a rally. It was never talked about on the news or in the White House, unless people are just saying stuff, which a lot of people are getting different things out of them saying stuff. Okay? But, okay. You know, I'm going to close there. Elon Musk has nothing to do with this video. They talking about Elon Musk, and they got nothing. They got no skit. They got nothing. And they talking about Trump, and they got nothing. And that is 95% out of 100 every day the way they talk. They talking about what you thinking. They only God knows what I'm thinking. They talking about what you thinking. They talking about what you trying to do. Have I done it yet? How do you know what I'm trying to do? They talking about what you trying to do. They talking about what you did. When was this? I don't recall. When was this? Well, if you remember, yeah, light me. I like to remember. Fresh my memory. They're lying. They're making this up as they go along. And this is what they've been doing for 4 years. You know what? And I'm telling you this because Trump is in office. He's already breaking world records. And you're still holding a grudge because you lost. And you're not giving the man a chance. And anybody that's hating on Donald Trump right now, you're in the wrong country. I just really believe that. I know that's harsh, but you are in the wrong country. Some black folks need to move to Africa. Some white folks need to move to Europe. If Europe will accept them, you will probably deport them. What you coming over here for? We more conservative than Americans. What you coming over here for? You know, some people need to move to the UK. Some people need to go back to Sweden. They need to go back to brothels. Okay, they need to go. I mean, like, God, like, some people are in the wrong country, and they just as white, and they just as black as they was when I was a child. I mean, they need to go to another country because they're not happy. And what happened to all these people that said, "Oh, if Donald Trump wins, I'm leaving"? TikTok, you're still here. You ain't even got a suitcase packed. Why are you working on your new song and getting your new group here? Oh, and you're making money on Donald Trump's watch. Lots and lots of money on Donald Trump's watch. I thought you said you was leaving. Of course not, because you're a fraud. You're liars. You've been manipulating us for 4 years and more, and you're still. And it's not just the people in the White House. It's people in the music industry. It's people in Hollywood. It's all these people that would dare open up their mouth. None of them are opening their mouth truthfully, because when you speak against the truth, that's not truth. If you speak against the truth, that's not truth. In order for you to speak the truth, you have to agree with the truth, not speak against it. And if you have a right to do something, I have that same right. Don't do something and then when I do it, oh, it's wrong. Because somebody's different is doing it instead of you doing it. Get out my face. Had enough. God bless you. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon with more. God bless. I had enough.